Hi everyone, my name is Mercy, and today me and my friend Ute we're gonna tell you and explain about the history of English language. So the history of English language began with the arrival of three Germanic tribes who invaded England in the 5th century. These tribes, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, crossed the North Sea into what is now Denmark and northern Germany. At the time, the inhabitants of Britain spoke one Celtic language, but most Celtic speakers were pushed north and west by the colonizers, mainly to Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. The Angles came from English Atlantic, and their language was called English, from which the word English and English are derived.
Hello, my name is Ruth Atentina Sawor. Now we're going to the first history of English, the Old English. Old English is the language of the Germanic inhabitants of England, dated from the time of their settlement in the 5th century to the end of the 11th century. It is also referred to as Anglo-Saxon, a name given in contrast with the Old Saxon of the inhabitants of northern Germany. These are two of the dialects of West Germany, along with Old Frisian, Old Franconian, and Old High Germanic. Sister families to West Germanic are North Germanic, with Old Norse, aka Old Icelandic, as its chief dialect, and East Germanic with Gothic as it is chief and only attested dialect. The Germanic parent language of these three families, referred to as Proto-Germanic, is not attested but may be reconstructed from evidence within the families, such as provided by Old English texts. Old English itself has three dialects: West Saxon, Kentish, and Anglian. West Saxon was the language of Alfred the Great, 871 to 901, and therefore received the greatest prominence. Accordingly, the chief Old English texts have survived in this dialect. In the course of time, Old English underwent various changes such as the loss of final syllabus, which also led to simplification of the morphology. Upon the conquest of England by the Normans in 166, numerous words came to be adopted from French and subsequently also from Latin.
Next, Middle English. In 1066, William, part of modern French, invaded and conquered England. The new conquerors, called Norman, brought French, which became the language of the royal court and the ruling and business classes. For this period, there was a kind of linguistic class division, where the lower classes spoke English and the upper classes spoke French. In the 14th century, English became dominant in Britain again, but with many French words added.
Next, we're going to the early modern English. It is thought to span roughly from the 1500 to 1800. This period is called the Renaissance. This Elizabethan language is much more closely related to the modern English today than, for example, that the concern in the Canterbury Tales. Spelling in particular has become more standardized, and new vocabularies are emerging as a result of the prevalence of English in a variety of professional and professional fields. New research using digital corpora, dictionaries, and databases shows that stepwise nature of these processes. Current development is similarly gradual in pronunciation, with processes such as drastic changes in vowels and changes in grammar, many of which lead to new expressive means and greater transparency. The word order also changed gradually, becoming more robust over time.
And the last history of English language are the late modern English. The English language underwent more huge changes after 1800. The early modern period came to an end as new influences emerged. Late modern English has more words, arising from two main factors. First, the industrial and technological revolutions created a need for new words. Second, the British Empire at its peak covered a quarter of the Earth's surface, and English adopted foreign words from various countries.
And that's all from me and my friend. We already talked about the history of English language. Hopefully you can get and understand what we just explained to you about. Thank you for listening.